Hello, hello. You already do it? Okay, it's testing. Okay, it's good.
artist work for the murals that will be painted on the electrical boxes within the city. Some of these are phenomenal. We've only received a couple of them in, but as they start to come in, we're going to start sharing some of that information with the residents, and it is going to be exciting to see these colorful murals put on by these professional artists, changing the way that these boxes look in our community, and that's going to be something else. And then also I wanted to report on Beauty and the Beast. I don't know how many people got to attend that play. Yes, it was a wonderful play. We had over 3,000 plus attendees for that play, which is phenomenal. And I want to thank everybody that participated. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Newell. I will add that my first grade granddaughter participated in the red carpet at Butler Elementary and couldn't stop talking about it. It was a highlight for her, and it was really cool. So from District 4, Councilmember Ellen Burrell.
Okay, please don't run that timer on me. I'll be as quick as I can. It's disrespectful. All right, so the Association of Municipal Councils is one of the liaison seats I sit on for the city of Cottonwood Heights. We had a wonderful presentation by the Salt Lake County Aging Services Division. And one of the things that's really coming up for me is, if anybody didn't know this, the Whitmore Library is on a schedule to be razed to the ground. I mean, in the next few years, and a brand new complex will be built in its place. And depending on how closely you follow the libraries that are being built both in Salt Lake City and throughout Salt Lake County, they're really quite avant-garde. They're about resource services. And so I'm seeing this in other cities, and what I would really like to see my council colleagues embrace and our city manager is to work closely with Salt Lake County to see what kind of services we need in Cottonwood Heights. One of them we all know is we don't have a senior center. And this to me would be a match made in heaven to say to Salt Lake County, look, we pay taxes for senior centers around Salt Lake County. We don't have one in Cottonwood Heights. How about when you redo this campus for the library? Because we all know that's a sizable acreage there, that it include, senior, preferably senior center, but at least services. And I think there's a real opportunity for an interlocal agreement possibly, and I'm speaking as Ellen Burrell. I'm just now launching this idea with the council colleagues, but I think it is something that could really take wings, and I'm hoping that we do that right away before they get too far along in their plans. I also know that many people in my District 4 are very disconcerted to have learned about 3 weeks ago that the Utah Department of Transportation is putting in the process of building a variable messaging sign. A variable messaging sign is the permanent ones are what you see on the freeway that go all the way across the freeway that do a big digital sign information for cars, moving at 60 to 80 miles an hour. So seeing one of these being erected just north of the intersection of Bengal Boulevard on Wasatch Boulevard SR 210 does not align with our Wasatch Boulevard master plan, nor the idea of bringing the road design down to 35 miles an hour. So at any rate, I want all of you to know that I've been in numerous conversations, both within Cottonwood Heights and within UDOT and the community, to try to come up with ways. In my view, it would be preferable to see this variable sign north of Fort Union Boulevard, where we could see because this is for the skiers approaching Little Cottonwood Canyon. And I really had hoped to see this erected north of Fort Union Boulevard so that we could see them directed into the new intermodal hub that'll be built at the gravel pit, or onto Fort Union Boulevard, where these skiers might spend their money while they wait around to get up the canyon, instead of once they get down into our area of southeastern Cottonwood Heights, they'll end up in Sandy. So at any rate, I want you to know I'm working on that. I also continue to work on the aspects of access to public trails and the Deaf Smith Canyon situation. Right now, there's been no new movement or developments. I have been in contact with a professor at the University of Utah who wants his students to do a capstone study of the access up Deaf Smith Canyon, and that may advance. We should know in the next month on that. The Parks, Trails, and Open Space Committee has chosen to have the members focus on additional amenities they want to see in the parks around Cottonwood Heights. I also am trying to emphasize with PTOS the importance of focusing on O&M, operations and maintenance, and taking care of the parks that we have, understanding what standards we are striving for in each of the parks. And I would also say that kudos to the Subcommittee on Active Transportation within PTOS. They have been working with the Public Works Department, Adam Ginsberg, on finishing the first Cottonwood Heights first neighborhood byway. And if you haven't driven on Banbury and Nut Tree, go check it out. Things are happening related to, we still have wayfinding signs and other elements, but I'm really thrilled to see that we are taking the first steps toward having routes that residents can take that keep them mostly on local streets where it is comfortable, aesthetically pleasing, and safer. And the last item I would like to emphasize, and I think that Councilmember Highland mentioned it, I'm also working with Randy Whitehead and others who are putting together a wonderful day of service program commemorating 9/11. And that will be on September 14th. I hung their poster out on the west door of the City Hall. So if you want more information, you can get it there. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay. I'm just going to take a minute and maybe talk to you about the bond that we're going to vote on. So the city council in just a few minutes is going to vote on a parameters resolution. And what that means, if the council passes this parameters resolution, there will be a bond initiative on the ballot in November. And I think this is really important that this is the way that the city has approached this. And let me tell you why. We could have voted to as a council to raise taxes. But I think from the very beginning of this process, we have wanted our citizens to weigh in. And we've formed citizens committees. We've asked them to come to open houses to help to form what we thought. And we wanted to listen closely to what they wanted. And now, if the city council votes for this resolution, the city will decide, and our residents will make the decision if we're going to move forward with the plans that are being proposed. This is my last opportunity as the mayor to publicly support this option. I really think that this is something that can help create an identity for our city, a gathering place. From every open house that we've listened to our citizens that have come and talked to us, this is the type of thing that they say they want. And I understand that there's some drawbacks. Obviously, things cost money, and but I am a big proponent of this this Hillside Plaza / the Heights project, and I hope that our citizens will really take the time to make themselves aware of why we're doing this, what we're doing, and then what can come about if it passes. Okay, we are going to move on to item 4 on our agenda, which is a citizen comment period. This is a time for the citizens to take 3 minutes. That when you come to the microphone, we ask that you state your name and that you speak into the microphone. We ask that the people, when you comment, that your comments are respectful And the audience should avoid any expressions of support or disagreement. The council is also here to listen, but due to this format, we don't expect to engage in a back and forth dialogue. The staff will respond to you within a few days if you have questions. The first comment card that I have for tonight is Holly Morsel. Hi, Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly Josephson Morsal, and I want to advocate for the urgent need to build a sidewalk on Danish Road. I think we have a lot of new council members here, but we've been asking for over 10 years, starting with Emery Josephson and Elliot Christensen. It's kind of lost a little bit of steam. I talked to the city manager last year. It looks like we have a new city manager. And he told me that we got a grant for it and it was going to be built this year. Then I talked to Ellen and that's not the case. So I'm very disappointed. The Canyon School District comes to the city every year asking for a sidewalk. It's a safety issue. Google Drive reroutes the traffic to Danish Road whenever there's an issue on Wasatch, which we know during the ski season. I go walking on that road at least every week. And, there's parts by Gail Conger's yard where I kind of had to be like this to the cars. So me and my friends could walk. The absence of a sidewalk forces pedestrians, including children, the elderly, and those with disabilities, including my son with autism, to navigate the roadway, putting them at significant risk. And then with increased foot traffic, it's imperative that we provide safe passages for those who walk in our neighborhoods. A sidewalk will not only protect lives, but encourage a connected community. And cities across the nation are increasingly recognizing the importance of pedestrian infrastructure. Do we still have that? Well, I know I have a plan by the city engineer that was here several years ago, but I don't know if he's still here, but the plan was for the sidewalk to be on the east side of my property, 8560 Danish Road, and those aligning properties. I talked to the city engineer last year as well as my new neighbor who's building a home there. Right now they have the sidewalk going into the middle of my driveway, which is really ridiculous, especially when they plan on putting the sidewalk east of my property. So he's pouring concrete this week. We've been asking several times. I think if someone came out and looked at it, I think if any of you came out and looked at it and saw the design, doesn't make any sense. So anyway, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Holly.
I would like to make a comment on Holly Marsal's comments. She lives on the west side of Danish Road. I just want to make sure that everyone understands she is in favor of a continuous sidewalk on the west side of Danish Road. And I support that vision. I was not able to share that tonight during our deliberation on the projects that we are going to advance and vote on in a month's time. But I really appreciate Holly's explanation of the need for continuous sidewalk. We need to all remember that what makes motorists, pedestrians, and cyclists the safest is when the traffic moves slowly. So whether the Wasatch Boulevard is jammed up and motorists come onto Danish Road, the main thing is that we design that road to continue to be narrow in spots and slow the traffic down. That's what the residents all tell me they want. And from everything I know about safety, I advocate for a continuous sidewalk, but keeping the road narrow and the cars putting in islands that slow them down. So thanks for letting me jump on that with it.
The next comment card I had is for Audrey Pines. Hi, Audrey.
Audrey Pines. Hi, everybody. Jared, you're still here after, has it been 30 days? Glad we're behaving well. My neighbors asked me to come down and listen to the conversation on the bond. But while I was in there, I took some notes on some other things. I can't really read my writing now, so if I get turned around. So as I'm listening to you guys, I'm confused about a couple things. During the conversation, it sounds like a couple things are settled, like Fort Union being taken down to 2 lanes, bike lanes on both sides. I am having trouble seeing how that's going to work. Also the redoing of Fort Union and 23rd. I have no idea what that is at this point. The conversation sounded like it was all just settled. I love the idea of a 215 bike highway, or whatever you want to call them, a bike lane. I am all for Cottonwood Heights being a recreational city and making it really safe. I just am not, I don't want to lose our main thoroughfare of Fort Union. I think it's something we really need to talk about. As I drive down Bengal Boulevard has become an incredibly popular road. I see more walkers and bikers on Bengal than any other street, almost anywhere in the city. I love the new bike lanes that you guys drew, painted so it's easier to see. What we really want on Bengal is a pedestrian bridge going over Wasatch Boulevard so people can get to Ferguson Canyon where the parking is. And while we're talking about that, that is the new trailhead for Ferguson. I see people running, kids running across Wasatch Boulevard to get over there. So that is really dangerous. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, the other thing we really need are flashing speed lights on Fort Union and the 6200 South Corridor. It's really dangerous for bikers, for runners. They all use that. And there's a lot of road rage there. Also, the last thing I wanted to talk about is replacing the ARC members. Citizens have been talking about having the same people placed by the staff on the Planning Commission and ARC. We would like it to be more of a citizen-based group. We would love it if we would get some new faces, maybe put time, limits on them so it's not the same people recycling. There's lots of amazingly creative people with lots of experience in our city. We would prefer, people I speak to, not that it's more citizen-based, so that the city council. And last, the sign on Wasatch Boulevard, come on you guys, somehow we have to get together and not have that sign. That is shining right in all of our windows. So if somehow we could get together. I don't know what we can do with UDOT. It's a little crazy. Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey. I'll just note that the anything happening on Fort Union is not related to the Hillside Plaza Heights project. They're completely separate and nothing has been decided. The next comment card I have is for Leslie Kovach. Hi, Leslie.
Hello. My name's Leslie Kovach, longtime resident of Cottonwood Heights. You've seen me here many times. Tonight, I would like to talk about the sign that UDOT is proposing at 7135 South Wasatch Boulevard. I'm voicing my disappointment in Cottonwood Heights elected officials and city staff for not bringing this forward to the citizens of Cottonwood Heights. This sign is seen from my backyard. It will shine in my dining room, my neighbors' bedrooms, and living rooms. That being said, I would like to remind the city council and city staff of one of the reasons why Cottonwood Heights City was formed. As I recall, when our city was part of the county, we had people such as Randy Horiuchi, Terry Deal, and Reagan Signs. They decided to use our city as a massive build out for billboards and lighted signs. One of the reasons our citizens chose to incorporate was to control and prevent lighted signs going up in our primary residential areas. Our citizens wanted to move our city to a dark sky. In fact, the electric sign by 7-Eleven, which I abhor, can only be lit between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Since I found out about this sign going up, I've called UDOT. I've spoke with Sam Winkler, the UDOT project manager, about the 3 signs UDOT is attempting to install. Sam has stated that this is a supplementary sign, not a primary sign. Sam is claiming the sign is going to improve traffic, blow up Little Cottonwood Canyon, notify drivers of crashes, closures, and direct them to parking transit, which is all behind them when they approach the sign. He stated that drivers can make a turn on Bengal Boulevard or a left on Honey Cove Drive, which drives all the traffic into our neighborhoods. He claims drivers will need to make legal U-turns, but I know from watching traffic over the years that drivers will make a U-turn wherever the hell they want, whenever they want. I stopped where the sign is and drove up Bengal just to make sure that it was all double yellow lined. It is. Potentially, this could be a money-making experience for Cottonwood Heights Police, but it does nothing to improve safety or change the traffic backup. My question to you, the city, who knew about this sign? Why were there no red flags raised? Why was a freeway sign, a sign that's 10 feet by 30 feet high and violates our city master plan for Wasatch Boulevard and clearly is a detriment to our city? Why was it allowed to be put in? Why has there been no discussion with UDOT? Sam has stated that the sign will be lit at night, which will disturb many of our homes on the north side. The sign will look, people in my neighborhood will look at this sign day and night. Sam stated trees will obstruct the view from the sign from many houses. However, he did not consider the fact that due to the design of Wasatch Boulevard and the contour of the road, many houses will look at this sign forever.
Thanks, Leslie.
Mhm.
Appreciate your comments, and we'll have staff reach out to you. The next comment I have is Nancy Hardy.
Hi, Mayor. Hi, City
Hi,
Council.
Nancy.
Thank you for always listening to me and my comments. I always have something to say. So tonight, I wanted to just ask a question. Cottonwood Heights has established zones for the city for building. And so a developer or a landowner, I know they've got the property rights, whatever. Does Cottonwood Heights have to change the zone that the city has set? It's in their plans. Does Cottonwood Heights have to change for someone because if, it seems like if Cottonwood Heights stood by what they've established and said, no, this is the zone, someone else would be right behind them, ready and wanting to build in Cottonwood Heights and abide by our zoning. It makes sense. It makes sense that Cottonwood Heights would go through all the zones, have what they want, look at the master plan or the vision and stick by it and not change it, for developers or somebody that wants to do something else. And if I remember right, that PDD, the big push for that, it was a legislative type of procedure or building, so it would give Cottonwood Heights the say-so. So I don't know, it just seems like things are always changing, and then, who represents the people? It's hard to say. It seems like the city and the staff everybody's for the developers, but who is our voice? Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate your comments. The last one I have is for Randy Long. Hi, Randy.
Yes, my name is Randy Long, and I'm speaking mostly on the Hillside Plaza situation. And I still think it should be, as much as possible, it should be a park. Tear down the building, whatever, and build a nice park there. I know there's got to be a few, well, like those small businesses that are east of where Ream used to be. They should still be there, maybe. And maybe the Dollar Tree should still be there. Well, think about Walgreens too, maybe. But other than that, it should all be a park, really. because open space, which a park provides, is already badly fragmented in several areas in Salt Lake Valley and all across the state. So again, we need more open space. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. Jared, any comments we need to submit into the record from email or online?
Yeah, we received two comments online, one from Audrey Pines regarding concerns about the bond, and then one from Aaron Salazar concerning the old mill development, environmental related concerns, which have both been forwarded to you and entered in the record.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to close the citizen comment period. And we'll move on to item 5, which are 4 legislative action items for the council to consider this evening. First is item 5.1, consideration of ordinance 420, amending chapter 9.05 Cottonwood Heights Code of Ordinances concerning nuisances and their abatement. We had the opportunity to discuss this item earlier in our work session as a council. Are there any other questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance 420, amending chapter 9.05 Cottonwood Heights Code of Ordinances concerning nuisances and their abatement.
I'll motion to approve ordinance number 420.
I'll second.
Motion to approve from Councilmember Highland and a second from Councilmember Newell. Final questions, comments? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. Councilmember Holton,
Yes.
Councilmember Highland,
Yes.
Councilmember Newell,
Yes.
Councilmember Burrell.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Item 5.2, consideration of resolution 2024-55, providing for a special bond election on November 5th, 2024. To submit to the qualified electors of Cottonwood Heights, Utah, a proposition regarding the issuance of not to exceed $30 million general obligation bonds for the purpose of acquiring and improving land, including prior bond carrying costs for the same, providing public open space and amenities, pedestrian improvements, and other needed infrastructure to facilitate economic development, community events, and activities in and around Cottonwood Heights proposed town center at approximately 2300 East and Fort Union Boulevard, providing for the posting of a notice of public hearing, approving the form of and directing the posting of a notice of election and the ballot proposition and related matters. We also discussed this matter earlier as a council during the work session. Any other questions or comments from the council?
I'd like to make a comment on this. I think an important part of why we run for this position and why we're elected to this position is to have some vision for what the future of our city looks like. I'm just grateful that we and the residents have given us the ability to do so. And now it's it's time for the residents to let their voices be heard. So I'm going to support this so that it can be put on the ballot, and I will encourage all to be able to vote this November to make sure that their voice is heard. And regardless, I think all of us, whatever the citizens vote, we will be enthusiastic support of if it's for or against. And I look forward to that process. So thanks so much. And thank you to my colleagues that have led out on this issue, because there's been a ton of work put into this.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Do I need to read the whole thing again, Shane?
No, you don't.
Thank you. Consideration of, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 2024-55, providing a special bond election on November 5th.
I'll make the
2024.
motion to approve resolution 2024-55.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve from Councilmember Newell and a second from Councilmember Burrell. Final questions, comments? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. Councilmember Burrell,
Yes.
Councilmember Holton,
Yes.
Councilmember Highland,
Yes.
Councilmember Newell,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Item 5.3, consideration of resolution 2024-56, approving entry into an interlocal cooperation agreement with Canyon School District concerning school resource officers. We also talked about this earlier. Any questions or comments from the council? Entertain a motion to approve resolution 2024-56.
Move that we pass resolution 2024-56.
I'll second that.
A motion to approve from Councilmember Holton and a second from Councilmember Highland. Final questions, comments? Call for the vote. Councilmember Highland,
Yes.
Councilmember Newell,
Yes.
Councilmember Burrell.
Yes.
Councilmember Holton,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Our last legislative item for this evening is item 5.4, consideration of resolution 2024-57, approving an appointment to the Architectural Review Commission. We also discussed this item. Jared, anything you would like to add? Okay, we will, any final questions, comments from the?
I would like to make a comment. I know of Jesse Allen. He is a professional. He served 2 terms on the Planning Commission. He also was the chair of the Planning Commission. And I thank him for this service to our community. I would echo my constituent Audrey Pine's remark in urging our city manager to really thoroughly consider members who have not had a chance to serve. We have an application process that any of our citizens can access through the Cottonwood Heights website. And I am a big believer that we have an amazing citizenry, and I highly value diversity. And so I hope that we will look for, seek out new voices that have not been on one of our committees, and that we nurture a culture of that going forward. And with that, I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve resolution 2024-57.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve from Councilmember Burrell and a second from Councilmember Holton. Final questions, comments? Call for the vote. Councilmember Newell,
Yes.
Councilmember Burrell.
Yes.
Councilmember Holton,
Aye.
Councilmember Highland,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Okay, the last item of business on our agenda for this evening is the consent calendar. Item 6.1, approval of travel by CHPD Officer Lance Best to Niagara Falls, Canada to attend a training conference, and approval of travel by myself and Councilmember Holton to Incheon to establish and formalize a sister city relationship. Could I get a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The last, and at this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
And the consent calendar.
At this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.